I said this in another video that I filmed on the same day, but like, we're gonna just pretend that I don't have a massive amount of books surrounding me because my library is gonna like kill me because it's so big. Hi everyone, it's Holly and I'm here with another book recommendations video. Like, I guess book recommendations? I don't know. It's kind of weird. So I wanted to talk about a trope that I love in my fiction. And that is the found family. I love a good family. Don't get me wrong. Like a quality, supportive, perhaps bickering filled family. Like the Winston Brothers by Penny Reed. I eat that shit up, okay? I love that too. But I also love a found family. I love characters coming together and building a family and a support system. And so I wanted to do a video talking about some books, series, these are all series really, that have found families that I really like. And I actually found I couldn't think of a ton of romance novels, which is mainly what I read. I thought of a couple, and I don't know if they just have more families or I just couldn't think of any. So if there are romances with found families, please leave them down below, because I would like to check them out. So I have 6 series that I kind of want to talk about in whatever order. So the first one is The Raging Ones by Krista and Becca Ritchie, because it's been far too long since I talked about this series. This is a duology that was traditionally published by Krista and Becca, and it is YA, like sci-fi, although I'm not sure YA is the right classification. It is, but like I feel like it could be older and be totally fine. And it's a duology. It's called The Raging Ones and then The Last Hope. And these are very different from anything else that they've ever written. In my humble opinion, the best they've ever written. I think that I love all their other books too, but I think this is their best work. And it follows 3 characters, Fanny, Mikkel, and why can't I remember your name? I feel like it starts with a C. I'll try to put it here. And they live in a world where you are assigned a death day. When you're born, you're tested with this thing and it tells you what day you're going to die. And then depending on when you die, there's like age ranges. It puts you in a classification of society. So like if you're gonna die before you're like 10, if you die before you're like 30, if you die like after that, basically. These 3 end up meeting and connecting through a series of events, but they all don't die on their death day. And then there is a competition, I guess, to have a crew charter a spaceship to go do like exploration and stuff. And they want to leave their world, and so they sneak into this competition and try to get in there. There's a lot more to it. But these 3 and their relationship with each other is so good. There's also other characters that I feel like kind of surround them, that become a part of it, but really at the core, it's the 3 of them being the main like family that has come together. And I love seeing all 3 of them interact as a threesome and then interact individually. How they impact, like when one person is missing, how that impacts the other 2 and their dynamic when they're with each other. And that's something I really like in my fiction. I think I've talked about this before. And this is such a beautiful story, and it's a beautiful friendship, and it's wonderful. There is romance in this series as well. But at its core, I think, is this relationship and this friendship and this family that these 3 create with each other and this support system, and it's beautiful. Also, highly recommend the audio. Next, I haven't read these in forever, although I want to do a reread of the original series, is Percy Jackson and the Olympians and the Heroes of Olympus. And I did not immediately have this jump into my head, and I was just trying to do some Googling, and then people were putting this on list of found family, and I was like, you are totally right. This is found family, both of them. I think obviously in the beginning you have like Annabeth and Percy and Grover, and then maybe like tangential characters to them as well. And then Heroes of Olympus, you have additional characters who create their own like friendship family groups. And I think this is such a beautiful found family. And oh my gosh, I just thought of them as like a friend group. But I do think that they're kind of like found family, and they become a support system for each other. And there will always be a special place in my heart for like Annabeth and Percy and Grover, like the three of them. I love a solid friend group. Next is one of the romances I've thought of, and that is the Wallflowers series by Lisa Kleypas. I can't believe I almost forgot about this one when I was making my list because I'm like obsessed with this series. There are sisters in here, so it's 4 romances, and it follows a group of 4 women, 2 of whom are sisters with each other, who are all wallflowers in society, and they kind of come together as these wallflowers, and then each of them get their own romance, and they go on to, they build such this beautiful friendship with each other, this support system. Again, how many times will I say that in this video? Who knows? And then as the series goes on, and then as Lisa Kleypas continues to write, like her Ravenel series takes place in the same world and everything. So you will still continue to see these characters show up. And as they grow up and as they become parents and their lives change and they grow and they age, seeing them continue to create a friend group. And in here, you don't just have the 4 women who, yes, are at the core of this group, but as they each find their happily ever after and they get married, those men become a part of that friend group, and it becomes this bigger family and this tighter family, and it's so beautiful. Next, a similar thing happens in this other romance series, and that is the Girl Meets Duke series by Tessa, which is sadly not yet complete. We are still waiting for the bride bet, but it will come someday. But the first one in this is the Duchess Steele. Again, you have a group of 4 friends who have come together in a society. And I think a lot of times in romance, you see a lot of women hating other women. And so I love seeing women come together and support each other and have really positive friendships, especially when they're not related. Not that I don't love a good friend, family, and like sister relationship, like I said earlier, but there's nothing binding them other than affection and love for each other. And again, here you have, as the men join, they become a part of this family, and a family becomes like this tight system that supports each other and protects each other and is just beautiful. Next is a series I feel like I haven't talked about in a long time. It's a YA fantasy series, and that's the Books of Bayern by Shannon Hale. I, again, recommend an audio, full cast. It's beautiful. The first one is The Goose Girl. There are 4 books. I think the first 3 in particular is really what I'm thinking here, because it follows this 3, apparently trios is like what I'm into a lot of times. But you have Izzy, Anna, and oh my gosh, what is your name? Are you behind me? Oh no, you're too far away. I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. But the 3rd book is River Secrets. And that one follows a guy. And it's these 3 friends, and none of them end up in a relationship with each other. There are romances in each of these stories, but not with each other. And again, there are some like other people who come and be a part of this like friendship, or like come and go and everything, and their spouses obviously, or like significant others, I guess. But these 3 end up meeting as servants at a palace, and they grow and build a friendship and a support system, and they go through so much in these stories, like the trauma, like these books seem very light, and in general, I think they are kind of light. Shannon Hale does it in a very interesting way. But they go through a lot of stuff, and time passes. There's war, there's intrigue, political intrigue, there's deception, there's all of these things, and at the end of the day, these three are friends, and they will always be there for each other, and it's beautiful. Last, I didn't think about, and then I'm doing a reread so I can finish the series, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think this is found family, and that is the Poison Study series by Maria V. Snyder, which one, I just love Poison Study, like the book, obsessed. But I think specifically here, I am thinking of the friendship between Yelena, Ari, and Jinko. The relationship that they build and the dynamic that they have, and the trust and everything is just beautiful to me, and I love it. I don't have a lot to say, but because that was like a last minute thought, because I just finished my reread of Poison Study today. But that's another one that I really like. So yes, those are some found family recommendations. I know there are some really popular ones that I didn't mention, like Six of Crows. That is because I have not read Six of Crows. But yes, if you have any found family recommendations for me, leave them down below. Again, like I said, especially if they are romances, I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.